Hello everybody! I'm here to jump on the Seamstress Tag bandwagon. I also got tagged to do the tag by Gabardashery and I think Cluelessly. I got that wrong. Definitely been tagged by someone on Instagram. Anyway, thank you. So yes, I'm going to do the Seamstress Tag of Holly Sews. It's nice to see what everyone's up to, and I'm completely crap at telling anyone who I am or what I do. And I'm now getting questions. People are like, "What is your name? Who are you?" So this is a helpful introduction for me. So I've got my phone here with my questions on. I'm just going to keep looking in this direction. Who are you? So I'm Helen. I am 32. I live in southeast London, and when I'm not sewing, I am a freelance strategy consultant, and I also do training and coaching. I previously worked in the charity sector, and before that I was in management consultancy, hence why I now do consultancy. And I went freelance in February, which is one of the reasons I spend more time sewing. One of my goals of going freelance was to balance my life a bit more and spend more time doing things I like, to see whether that actually works as a concept. And so I've been doing that for, well, how long is it? What, 6 or 7, 8 months now? Yeah, so that's me. So I talked a little bit about this in my quilting, in my quilt vlog. My mum was a big crafty person, still is, and I think, as lots of other people who've said in response to this question, I think you either find sewing or it finds you, and it found me via my mum. So I grew up in a house where there were rooms that you didn't go into because the number of pins on the floor, and my mum made quilts, beautiful, extraordinary, astonishing quilts. And so I sort of was put in front of a sewing machine when I was about 6, and I think the first thing I made I was about 6, and I made quilts that got entered into competitions from the age of about 8. Some people send their kids and do sporting activities. Mine was all about craft. Yeah, so I've sewn my whole life, but in terms of dressmaking, you go through phases, I think, and I dropped out of it when I was at university, picked it up briefly I did a year in industry during university, my 3rd year. Worked at a pharmaceutical company, so I've also done that. And during that I sewed a bit more, but then I stopped. And I started up again while I was travelling, which I talk a bit more about in the quilt vlog, which is worth a look, because it's quite a historical tour through my life, as well as being a tour through the quilts, because I've made them over the course of quite a number of years. And quilts are very personal things because you tend to weave in a lot of what's going on with you at the time. So I won't repeat myself, but that's when I started. And I started dressmaking when I came back from travelling, which was in 2013. So about 3 years ago. Probably about this time of year, actually. Yeah, September about 2013. So 3 years ago I started dressmaking in earnest, as they say. So I have 2. One is the silk dress that I made recently. That was a real achievement, and I was utterly thrilled with how it turned out. Proud because it was really tricky, proud because it forced me to do things that I naturally don't like doing, like slowing down and concentrating. And because it meant, and it was something that I wasn't really sure whether I would be able to do. And as with all of these things, whenever you push yourself outside your comfort zone, the likelihood is you'll learn quite a lot. So I really enjoyed that one. And then another one I have, which for similar reasons, and I've got it here because I thought I would remind you of it. If I hadn't made that dress, probably would have been this, which is my vintage sew-along dress. For similar reasons, it took quite a lot of effort, 2 toiles, a lot of very accurate sewing. The fabric was quite tricky to work with, though it turned out beautifully, and the fit on it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm really into fit at the moment, so things I've made where the fit's really good tend to be the things that I am the proudest of at this point. Yes, so that's proudest make. So I was trying to think about this. I don't have that many such complete disasters that I won't actually wear it, because I have quite low standards for wear anything. But I have 3 things here that I picked out. Having said I don't have any. I don't think any of them are a complete disaster, but they're things that I don't wear very often, which generally means that there's something wrong with them. So the first one and the biggest disaster is this, which is a dress I made very recently and was featured on the vlog, I don't know, like 2 or 3 episodes ago. This is my attempt at making the polka dot dress from the Gertie Ultimate Dress Book in a rayon, and it was mostly a disaster, partly because look at the edges of these seams. This I made in about 3 hours. This is proof that you shouldn't rush things. I mean, the whole thing is just tatty. It's falling to pieces. Like the hem at the bottom now is like destroyed, and I really stretched the neckline out and ended up putting pleats in it because I really wanted to wear it. So my need to wear a new thing definitely wins over any sort of quality quite often, and I need to get out of that habit. I will just make something as fast as I can, and darn the consequences if it means I get to wear it. So yeah, that's probably the worst one. And I have 2 others. These are by no means disasters, but they're things I learnt important things from, so I thought I'd share them. I'll share this one first. So this is another one that I made very recently. This is the Birch Organics. Oh, hello. I just thought I'd throw it on the floor to prove how much I dislike it. Birch Organics jacket stroke cardigan that I made. I've not worn this since I made it. Which again is indication that I don't really like it very much. I think there are a few reasons why. I think the pattern itself actually is just not a pattern that would really suit me. I'm much better in more tailored things, and this is quite loose fitting. I think the fabric, although is jersey and although is great, I think is a little bit too heavyweight for it. I've seen it made in a really nice, I've seen people make this in really nice, much lighter weight jersey, so the really fine stuff that you get those kind of boyfriend style cardigans in shops with, and it looks really nice in that. So there's just a few. I know I kind of vaguely stretched the bottom when I made it, and much as I love the pattern, yeah, I'm not sure it was the best choice. So again, I don't wear that one very much. And then the last one is this one. So this, I actually love, and the make, like the quality of it is really good, and I do wear it, and it's particularly important to me, this dress, because this fabric my sister bought for me for Christmas, and it's so beautiful. It's a quilting weight cotton, and I wanted a pattern that wasn't going to mess with the pattern at all, and I wanted a dressmaking pattern that wasn't going to mess with the fabric pattern, and I chose the Laurel pattern by Colette, because it's just got bust darts here, and I changed them from being angled to being straight so that I didn't mess up the alignment on these trees. And the bias binding really is lovely. She bought me beautiful, really high quality lining, which is gorgeous. So the whole thing I really like, and actually with a belt I now wear this dress a lot more, but this was another one where fabric choice and pattern didn't quite match up as they should have done. So I've since made this pattern in that pink, the pink top that I've said I love, which is a Laurel, and it's got a load of drape and it's really wafty, and it works a lot better. Quilting weight cotton is just a bit too stiff, and because the dress doesn't have much shaping built into it, it's not very tailored as a pattern, it just doesn't do much for me. With the dress, with a belt, it works really well, but the only other thing is because there's not much give in the sleeves, and they're quite a narrow fit sleeve, and I have, as I've said before, have slightly larger arms than maybe most patterns kind of accommodate, so it's just ever so slightly difficult to move in, which is a real shame, because I've kept it and I still wear it because I love it and the fabric's beautiful, but again it was sort of, I learnt that fabric choice, and this was about the 3rd thing I made when I started dressmaking this dress, so it was a real learning experience in terms of pattern to fabric matching. So I thought I'd share that one too. My phone's gone off, so let me just find the next thing. Where? Oh, itchy nose. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Where is your favourite place to go fabric shopping? Where is your favourite place to go fabric shopping? Good question, actually, now that I think about it. So it used to be, I lived in Tooting for a very long time, and I was quite literally 5 minutes walk from the best fabric shop in London, which is the Crafty Sewer, I think it's called. on Tooting Bec High Street, between Tooting Bec and Balham stations. It's amazing. The people in there are lovely. I would be in there every weekend buying something, and the fabric's really reasonable, and they've got a good range of dressmaking fabrics. So that used to be the place that I went. Nowadays I don't tend to go as much because it's a little bit further away, though I do still make a trip. So I tend to buy online a bit more often now, and I've not actually bought fabric for a long time, other than when I was in New York, because I sort of have got quite a lot in my stash. But I'll buy things wherever I see it, and where I go away I usually try and find a local fabric shop so I can go and see some new stuff. So in Devon I went to Stone Fabrics in Totnes, which is just, it's like an Aladdin's cave of gorgeousness, and I bought some fabric which I shall show you in another haul at some point. So yes, probably my recommendation if you're near South London would be Crafty Sewer in Tooting Bec / Balham. And then if not, oh, I love Sew Overett's fabrics. I just think she curates a great range of very high quality. I know if I get something from there it's going to be really good quality, and that's a really nice sort of, I can shop online there and be fairly confident that I'm going to get stuff that I really like, so that's another one that's really good. In terms of things that I have, the Megan dress, I've got 3 or 4, you've seen most of them many times, from Tilly and the Buttons book, Love at First Stitch. That's the one I've made the most of, because it just suits me and I really like it. And then I've got quite a lot of patterns that I've not yet used. I've got various patterns that I've adapted. There's loads of patterns that I really love in terms of their fit and shape, but I just haven't made many of because they're not as practical. I love the Ultimate Trousers pattern, that's the other thing I should say. So over its Ultimate Trousers I've got a few pairs I need to make some more of. So yeah, probably that. Probably those two. Yeah, let's go with that. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I really enjoy the prep. I was watching Gabardashery and Pigeon Wishes do this morning, and I completely agree with everything Gabardashery said in that. Sorry, it's not her name, Gabby. Hi Gabby. Call you by your vlog title. Yes, I agree with everything she said. I really like getting to the fact that I can wear the thing. Must need to make that thing and wear that thing. And that means that I tend to get really pissed off with the bits that happen before or after I sit at a sewing machine. So laying out, cutting out, ironing, pressing, hemming. Oh, Gabby, oh, hemming. I really hate hemming. I don't mind hemming when it's like a hand stitch, sit down with a cup of tea in front of the telly, sew it by hand hemming. I actually really enjoy that, but I need to have the time, and if I'm rushing to do something, I always rush the hem every time, and it always takes longer than I think. The number of times I've finished a project and gone, oh, all I need to do is hem that. That'll take me half an hour. I'll do it tomorrow. Doesn't. I'll find I'll have another like 3 hours worth of sewing of other crap that I've forgotten to do, and yeah. So it's those bitty things. So yes, I really like the bit where you actually get to sew it up. I completely agree with Gabby and Megan about like the moment where you can try it on the first time. That's really great. That's a really exciting point in the sewing process. So yes, fixing bodice to skirt on dresses, or just where the point you've got it sewn up and you can just put it on for the first time and see what it looks like. That's the best bit. Yeah, but worst is probably all of those things that I said. Though sometimes I love them, I don't. It's a crap answer. I apologise. I'll think of something better. I don't know about this one either. I've said before about my love of hand sewing, and I do love hand sewing when I'm in the right mood. I like being able to sit down and just do something quiet and focused. I really love that. Oh no, I think actually, so I'm just thinking another thing I don't like, setting in sleeves. I hate setting in sleeves. Sorry, bouncing around between questions. My favourite. I don't know, I kind of love the whole process. There are days when I really love just the process of pattern matching. It's really geeky, but just laying fabric out and working out where I need to place my pieces so that the pattern will match perfectly, and when that actually works. Because I love the construction, I love the engineering of sewing. So it's one of the reasons I love fit. It's that sort of endless slight tweaking and the fact that you can just keep getting better at it, and that it's such a precise and beautiful art, and when you get it right, it's so satisfying. So sometimes I really love those detaily things. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood and I want to do a quick sew. So it varies wildly depending on the mood that I'm in. It's probably a reason I hadn't done this until this point, because I can't answer any of the questions. Right, dreaded favourite. Oh, favourite sewing entertainment. Foot music, Radio 4. Radio 4 and podcasts are the things I revert to the most often when I'm not talking to myself. I'm a really big podcast fan, massive, and I listen to lots and lots of them. So you will quite often find me sitting listening to a podcast. That's my most frequent entertainment. PDF. Either or. I find the task of cutting out a pattern equally frustrating, whether it's on paper printed out for me or whether I have to print it out and stick it together myself. Quite frankly, the PDF-ness of print it out, stick it together is as annoying as having to cut the thing out in the first place or trace it. I find those bits kind of boring, I have to say, because there's no real, it's just a task you've got to do. You can't really get good at it. Like, it's not like you sit there like, I'm going to get really good at tracing. You get to a standard where it works, and that's kind of fine. So yeah, I'm kind of easy. PDFs are great if I'm feeling really impatient, as ever, because you can get them instantly, print them out, and you can be doing it in the next 10 seconds. Well, no, 10 minutes, half an hour, once you've printed it all together. And I think if I had a guillotine, it would be a lot less painful, but I don't. And printed patterns, I love that the independent pattern companies now, they're just really beautiful things. Like, the envelopes are really lovely, and they're well produced, and it's nice to have a thing that feels lovely and kind of, you feel like you have a weight to it and things. But yeah, honestly, I'm very much in the middle on that one. I'm shit at this. I'm good. I'm lucky because I inherited my mum's. So my mum had about 4 sewing machines by the time she sort of tailed off in her quilting, and the one that she loved the most was her Benina, and she gave it to me for Christmas last year, year before. It's a Benina 1080, so it's a proper, it's not computerized. It's got lights and buttons, but I think the computer in it is quite basic, which is really good, because I think, a little bit like cars, the more you rely on a computer, the more you have to have it completely overhauled if it breaks, whereas it's fine. She bought it in 1993, so it's 23 years old now. Still works beautifully. It's so solid, and Beninas are the Rolls Royce of the machine world, so I am incredibly lucky that I managed to get hold of one of them. I love it. It's an amazing machine. It does everything I need it to, and not a lot more. I kind of get that there's a lot of machines out there now on the market where it just feels like they've thrown everything at it, and you just don't use it. You don't use most of that stuff. And it sort of clutters everything up. It means there's more stuff that can go wrong, and yeah, so I love my Benina. The only thing about it is that getting hold of the presser feet is now a little bit more difficult, because they've changed the attachment since 1993, shock horror. So I have to try and find the right people who source the feet, because it came with a lot, because she'd built up a massive collection, but some of them are missing because you just they get lost. Yeah, but I love my Benina. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful machine, and I do really love it. So it's one of the older ones. It doesn't have a lot of the whizzy gadgetry that some of the newer ones have, but it's wonderful. And because it's my mum's, it's very special to me as well. But yeah, that's my machine. Yes, what the hell do I spend my time doing? Oh gosh, kind of anything involving the outdoors I really like. So I walk a lot, do a lot of walking. I recently started trying to run, it's a whole other thing. I used to have a garden, and I loved gardening when I had my garden. We do have a garden here, but we're on the top floor and it's on the ground floor, obviously. It just hovers outside the window. No, it's on the ground floor, so I don't spend as much time down there, and it's kind of communal, so it's less. My last flat had the most amazing garden. I was very lucky. It was beautiful. So I used to really like doing that. I love cooking. Baking, though I don't do it as much anymore, because if I bake I have to eat it, which after a while becomes problematic. Yeah, I kind of, yeah, anything vaguely creative, to be honest, will be up there. Yeah, that's probably my list of hobbies. Right. Okay, I think that's all the questions, which is exciting. I hope that was interesting. My apologies for being almost incapable of answering any of them in any sort of definitive sense. And I will be back soon with more sewing news. My September sews are slightly behind. It's the 30th of September today, so October tomorrow, so I very much not met my deadline, though I did know that I was going to be pushed this month because I have been away a lot. I feel like I've only had about 10 days where I could possibly have sewn, and most of those were taken up with work, very sadly. But I will get to them. I will show you them when they are made, and I hope you have lovely weekends. I'm sitting here with the blind down because it's so sunny. I was squinting at the camera, so I hope the weather continues to be this great, both here and where you are, and I will see you again soon.